It's the time to learn about the cover art of my debut Have You Ever and how I thought about it. Alright, so when I was making this song, this debut, like as soon as I figured out the full lyrics, it was like a entity poured the cover art into my brain. Because I remember thinking like already having the full concept of like a fairy. I didn't know it was gonna be me. I thought I would just have somebody to draw like a random fairy, but it ended up being my silhouette. But I had an idea of like a fairy on a bike, and then their hands are up because they're feeling free, and like a bad boy that's driving the bike with like horns like piercing through the helmet and everything like that. As soon as I wrote the lyrics, that's all I had in mind. I didn't know how I was gonna make it come true. I didn't know who I was gonna work with. I don't know if I had to draw it myself. I don't even know how to draw that well, but I can like trace lines to like put together my idea. So I thought about that. I went to the studio, I recorded the song, and whenever I saw that, oh, this is actually becoming a reality, I was like, it's time to get to the cover art because we about to release, like I need to have a cover art. So I felt like it was very divine because on the day that I discovered who was gonna do my art, I went on Instagram. And that day, I remember specifically, I didn't watch anybody's story. I think I was just scrolling or I was about to post a post. I didn't watch nobody's story. But the artist I worked with, which I'll put their tag here, Seraphimagery, I saw their, like, you know the bubble thing where, like, you see their Instagram story is, like, up for viewing. So I don't know what made me click on his thing, but out of every bubble, I clicked on his randomly, and I saw that at that moment he posted art. And something about like his art style just drew me, and I was like, bro, this is the art style. Like I didn't know what art style I wanted to go with, but I was like, this is the art style. Like he's very avant-garde, like he's so fab, but like it just spoke to me. So I was like DM him real quick. I was like, oh my god, I love your art style. Let me just, do you want to work together on this cover art? I have this idea, like I would love to see how you like bring it to life. And we talk about rates and things of that nature. And then we ended up switching to like text on iMessage. And then I gave him the brief, which is like basically the description of what I wanted to implement. And I'll actually show the brief right here. All right, as you can see, this is the brief. You can pause to read and just keep going. And then this is the initial sketch of that brief. And then from that, I had a few more notes because I wanted the thing to look more leathery on the bad boy. And then I decided that I would rather my skin be black instead of pink. I was just going for like some like fantasy style, but like the pink didn't speak to me anymore, so I requested for black and like for it to change like some of the hair color and stuff like that. And here's what came from that. And obviously he took my notes, like things were looking really good. It's just like the jacket was now like too black and there wasn't like any like definition. And like I think I was like transparent, like Kitty Pride. So I was like, I requested also later on to change that. And I really love the bubble that he added because I think I requested that, but he made it his own style and it was just like so well put together and blended in. And like this is me telling him like I like the font of the writing on the bubble, but like it wouldn't serve the purpose because I felt like it wasn't like legible enough. Then we got into the skin color even more, and I just felt like I wanted to add some yellow violet into my skin, like I was shimmering from the inside, just because that's how I felt when making the song, when recording this song. That's how I felt from the moments that inspired this song in the summer when I was in the club, and that's how people told me they felt when meeting me. They felt like I was a ray of sunshine. They felt like I had glitter inside of me. So I just wanted to represent that, which is why I asked in that moment to like add some little yellow and colors into my skin and like make it look like light is within my skin. And then we get to the final version where I almost died of happiness, and I was just like so happy and typing in all caps, and I was just like, oh my god, he listened to all my notes. I was crying. I was sending him so many compliments. It was so good. Like I'm so grateful that I worked with him and that the stars aligned in this way where I clicked on his story one fateful day and then the rest was history. Like I'm so grateful that I was able to work with him, and everybody's been loving the cover art. So if anybody was wondering how it came to be, how I thought of it, this is the tea. And yeah. I don't know why, like, I chose specifically this image, like, motorcycle. I don't know, I guess, like, a bad boy to me, like, in some senses, like, you know, the movie Bad Boy Motorcycle vibe. I think that's why I chose it, but there could have been so many million directions that I took. But that's just what came to my head, so that's something I've been trying to practice more, is, like, listen to my intuition. And guess what? A lot of you guys been like, oh my god, I love the cover art, I love the cover art. Well, it's because I listen to my intuition, but um, and I don't want people to think that this song is fully about like a man or like romantic relationship or like toxic, because I view it as something that's open ended. And I feel like, if have you ever met someone like this, it's about a friend that you love that drive you crazy, or like a family member. It doesn't have to be a lover or like a toxic boyfriend or like a toxic ex. I just use that to drive the story forward, because that's like one of the common stories that we have in the universe, where like you met this bad boy, and like when he makes you feel good, he makes you feel really good, but then like when shit goes to hell, it goes to hell, and it's like the horns and stuff like that. But yeah, I think, and I do want to say too, I wanted the tail wrapped around my neck to like emphasize for this instance, where it's like a romantic version, where it's like that boy got me, like he got me around his finger, so like his tail is wrapped around my neck, he's driving me crazy, like literally driving me crazy, but like I'm feeling free in the moment, in that specific moments where you see the lights, like it's giving club but on a motorcycle. Like I'm feeling really nice, and he's like really having his way, and I'm having my way, and we're feeling good. But the tail is a metaphor for how he will drive me crazy later, and how like he's very controlling of like when I do go crazy because of him. So that's like a little background of like why the art is the way it is. But like you can see, he has his leather jacket, he's cool, he has his horns, and it's very apparent like that, because to show even more further than the leather that he is a bad boy. You see the horns, nigga, that's a demon basically, but you're still with him because he has moments where he doesn't make you feel like hell, and it feels nice, but then he got you on a leash on his tail, and you know later he's gonna drive you crazy. And I also did the high note like that for that specific word crazy, because that's how it feels when you feel crazy, like it's like ah, and that's what that specific note is meant to evoke, if it wasn't clear.